What if I told you that one of the greatest minds in human history died alone in a small hotel room, almost completely forgotten by the world? No fortune, no global company in his name, no powerful empire built around his inventions. And yet, the modern world you are living in right now, the electricity in your home, the power grids across cities, the wireless technology that connects people, exists largely because of one man, a man whose ideas were so advanced that many people believe he was born a century too early. This is the story of the mysterious genius who imagined the future before the world was ready for it. The story of Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla was born in 1856 in a small village called Smiljan, which at the time was part of the Austrian Empire. His father was a Serbian Orthodox priest, and like many fathers of that era, he hoped his son would grow up to follow the same path. But young Tesla's mind worked in a very unusual way. As a child, he had an extraordinary ability that few people could understand. He could visualize machines completely inside his mind, not just simple ideas, but fully working inventions. He didn't need sketches. He didn't need prototypes. In his imagination, the machines already existed. He could rotate them, test them, and improve them entirely in his head before ever touching a tool. Sometimes these visions were so vivid that flashes of light would appear in front of his eyes. Tesla later described these moments as if ideas were being projected directly into his mind. While other children were playing outside, Tesla was often lost in thought, imagining engines, motors, and systems that the world had not yet invented. His teachers quickly realized that this quiet boy possessed a brilliant mind. But brilliance often comes with struggle. During his university years, Tesla became obsessed with electricity, a mysterious force that scientists were only beginning to understand. At that time, electricity was still unreliable and difficult to distribute across long distances. Tesla believed there had to be a better way. After years of studying and experimenting, he developed revolutionary ideas about how electricity could travel across cities and even entire countries. But the opportunities in Europe were limited. So in 1884, with almost no money in his pocket and only a letter of recommendation in his hand, Tesla boarded a ship and traveled across the Atlantic Ocean to New York City. The city was loud, chaotic, and full of ambition. Skyscrapers were beginning to rise, industries were expanding rapidly, and inventors were racing to shape the future. One of the most powerful inventors in America at the time was Thomas Edison. Edison had already built a massive reputation and business empire based on electricity. Tesla quickly found work in Edison's company, where his talent immediately became clear. Tesla worked long hours improving electrical machines and solving complex engineering problems that others couldn't understand. At first, Edison admired Tesla's intelligence, but soon a major disagreement began to grow between them. A disagreement that would become famous in scientific history. Edison believed that the future of electricity belonged to a system called direct current, also known as DC. It was the technology he had built his entire business around. But Tesla strongly believed in a different system called alternating current, or AC. To most people, the difference sounded technical and unimportant, but in reality, it would determine the future of electricity across the entire planet. Direct current could only travel short distances before losing power. That meant power stations had to be built very close to homes and businesses. Tesla's alternating current system, however, could send electricity across massive distances with far greater efficiency. If Tesla was right, entire cities could be powered by a few centralized stations. But accepting Tesla's idea would threaten Edison's business empire. What followed became known as the War of Currents. Edison began publicly attacking AC electricity, claiming it was dangerous. Demonstrations were held trying to prove that Tesla's system was unsafe. It became one of the most intense technological rivalries in history. But science eventually proved Tesla correct. His AC system was simply better. Soon investors and engineers began adopting Tesla's designs, and the turning point came with one of the most famous engineering projects of the 19th century, the Niagara Falls power plant. Using Tesla's alternating current system, engineers built a massive hydroelectric facility capable of producing enormous amounts of energy. For the first time in history, electricity generated by the power of a waterfall could travel miles away to power cities. When the lights of nearby towns turned on using energy from Niagara Falls, it was a historic moment. The modern electrical grid had been born. Tesla's invention had changed civilization. Factories could run more efficiently. Cities could expand. Streets could be illuminated at night. The world was entering the electric age. But strangely, the man responsible for this revolution did not become one of the richest men on Earth. Tesla was a brilliant inventor, but he was not a businessman. While others built companies and fortunes around technology, Tesla continued dreaming about the next impossible idea. He imagined wireless electricity, power sent through the air without wires. He developed early ideas that would later influence radio communication. He demonstrated remote control technology decades before it became common. Some of his predictions sounded unbelievable at the time. He spoke about devices that people could carry in their pockets to communicate across the world instantly, devices that sounded remarkably similar to modern smartphones. But investors became nervous. Tesla's ideas were visionary, sometimes too visionary. Many of his projects required enormous amounts of money, and investors preferred safer inventions that promised faster profits. Slowly, funding disappeared. Tesla continued working, but his laboratories grew quieter. His experiments became smaller, and the world slowly shifted its attention to other inventors and businessmen. In his later years, Tesla lived in hotels across New York City, often moving from one room to another as bills became difficult to pay. He developed a strange affection for pigeons and spent many of his days feeding them in city parks. Some people saw him as an eccentric old man. Few realized that the electricity powering the city around them existed largely because of his work. On January 7, 1943, Nikola Tesla died alone in his hotel room at the age of 86. At the time, his death barely made global headlines, but history has a strange way of correcting itself. Today, scientists and historians recognize Tesla as one of the most influential inventors who ever lived. The alternating current system he championed powers nearly every electrical grid on Earth. His ideas helped shape radio, robotics, wireless communication, and modern electrical engineering. In fact, one of the world's most famous electric car companies would later honor his legacy by naming itself after him, Tesla, Inc. The lonely inventor who once struggled to pay his hotel bills would eventually become a global symbol of genius and innovation. Sometimes the people who change the world the most are not the ones who become famous during their lifetime. Sometimes they are the ones who quietly imagine the future long before the rest of humanity is ready to understand it. And a light turns on. Every time electricity travels across cities and countries, the invisible legacy of Nikola Tesla continues to flow through the world he helped create. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please like, subscribe, and press the bell icon so you never miss our upcoming stories. On this channel, we bring you amazing stories, biographies, mysteries, and fascinating tales from around the world. Every video is created to entertain you and take you into a new world of storytelling. Share this video with your friends and family so they can also enjoy these stories and support our channel. And don't forget to leave a comment below and tell us what kind of stories you would like to watch next. Your feedback and support motivate us to create even better and more exciting content for you. Thank you for watching and supporting our channel.